Hey everybody, this is the first Inktober 2020 drawing tutorial. Inktober is during the month of October, one drawing challenge every day using ink. You are allowed to use pencil first, just FYI. And every day has a different prompt. So today is the 1st of October 2020. We will be drawing fish. And this is the first time I've done Inktober, so I'm really excited to try and create a positive habit of drawing something every day. So, if you would like to set up a little sketchbook for yourself by just folding some copy paper in half, it might be nice to have a place to keep all of your Inktober drawings. Or you can just do it on the paper that you have around. And then I definitely recommend taking a picture when you're done so that you can track your lovely work and progress. Okay, I saw a great idea that someone posted to trace your phone to give yourself a really nice little area to draw in, and it kind of frames your work. It makes it look a bit more impressive than maybe just something floating in the middle of your page. It defines your work area. So I'm going to try that. I might go over that later. And today's challenge for Inktober is a fish. So I think I'm going to go for a horizontal composition. I'm going to use pencil first to sketch out my fish. And if you want to sketch a fish with me, you can do that. Or you could interpret the challenge in a different way. I'm going to draw a live fish, but maybe you want to draw a prepared meal that is fish. I don't know. It's up to you. Or someone fishing. I mean, you could take it a whole bunch of different ways. That's what kind of makes it fun and creative. All right, so I'm going to sketch out the basic shape that I want for my fish's body. I'm doing this, freehand, but if you would like to look at something, I shouldn't say freehand. I'm doing this from imagination. But if you would like to look at something to help you, especially for beginning artists, taking a look at something when you're drawing allows you to draw more realistically because our brains, they really simplify images into like symbols almost. So our brains don't have a realistic version of an object. They kind of have like a symbolized, simplified version. So I don't know if you can tell quite yet, but I'm sketching a betta fish and some bubbles. I always wanted to have a betta fish, but sometimes I do feel bad for them living in such small fish tanks. I'm gonna have some seaweed here. All right, I don't want to do too much in pencil because since everything is going to be inked over for Inktober, then I might be just wasting my time by spending too much on pencil. Although I'm glad I didn't switch yet because I didn't like that eyeball. I wanted to erase. So pencil, definitely good for erasing. But once you feel fairly confident with your drawing, then I would switch to pen so that you are not spending, twice as much time doing every little detail in pencil and then going over every little detail in pen. That can be taxing. All right. I decided to change a few little things once I used my pen, add a few little details. While you're going over a drawing with pen, I also just want to mention you don't have to cover every single little thing that you drew in pencil. Like I decided not to go over the entire eye. I decided to make this piece of seaweed a little skinnier. And I'm really doing that because I can still erase. Um, you can wait just like a few minutes for your pen to dry and then erase any little pencil line that might be peeking out behind your pen. So because I'm an art teacher and I teach a lot of people who don't draw all the time, I encounter a lot of anxiety from my students about drawing. And I get that. It's uncomfortable, it's new, it's strange, it's different to push yourself, outside your comfort zone. But my wish for Inktober and my wish for my students is that once they really start drawing and practicing and experiencing the flow, the creative flow that comes with, working on something like this, I hope that they get into a peaceful vibe with it and really start to experience some of the relaxing qualities of art. I would talk all day about how relaxing art is for me, but I know that's not the case for everyone. I think you have to reach a certain comfort level, comfort zone with art before it can truly become relaxing. Or just find the kind of art that works for you. Like some people really like coloring pages. It takes the load off because somebody already designed something beautiful for you to work on, and you just have to add color. That's the fun part, right? So I'm adding little dots to create some texture, and this is a method called stippling. It's like creating almost like shadows with little dots. Ah, my fish needs gills. All right. Draw little shine spots on my bubbles. Some more seaweed. So once again, your Inktober drawing might be modeled after mine because you wanted to see an example and follow along, or it could be entirely your own thing, or it could be, a combination of both. Maybe you did a betta fish too, but you're putting it in a different background. I do think Inktober is a good time to experiment. All of these background ideas that I'm adding, some stippling around the bubbles. This is an experiment to see if that will help the bubbles like stand out. Stippling takes a long time. So I'm finding my patience. During virtual learning, we all seem so like overworked and we just have like so much on our plates. It's easy to feel like, you know, our time is fleeting and we have to use it all to be productive, which is true. But when you're busy like that, I find it's even more important to take the time to breathe and slow down and to work on something that takes your mind off the busy, hectic, you know, work lifestyle. So making all these little dots is good for me because it's giving me a moment of peace in my busy, busy day. I'm going to come back and do more of these dots later, but I really want to see some darker areas in this drawing. Contrast is an important art value where you have dark areas, medium areas, and light areas. So I'm going to make some of these seaweed pieces really dark, and I'm going to do that by cross-hatching. So cross-hatching is another way to shade, but you do it with lines. So just doing parallel lines gets you kind of a light value on your shading scale. Then when you want to get a bit darker, you make lines going the opposite direction. So right across all of your parallel lines, you can do, is the word perpendicular? Perpendicular lines. I like the sound of a pen making these marks on paper. I like the rhythm that it creates. And then if you wanted to make those seaweed pieces even darker, then you can go another direction on top of the kind of grid that you created. So I'm going to go straight up and down, cutting across the checker marks cutting across the grid, and that will make it even darker. At a point, some of your cross hatching might completely fill in like solid black, and that's okay. But I do think there's something very sketchy and artistic and cool about the cross hatching look. So try not to let your cross hatching fill in completely 100% black. Try to leave some of that texture showing. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for my first Inktober. In my free time, I might go back and add more dots. And in fact, I'm happy I have something to go to throughout my day for little brain breaks during my teaching schedule. I can just find a few minutes, add some more dots, and kind of take a peaceful art break that way. So one more thing before I log off. I think it's important that you guys sign your work and get into a habit of signing your work. So find a nice spot somewhere in your drawing or underneath your drawing, but close by, and find a fun signature to use. So I'm gonna just try to do some fancy MM. I like how that turned out. I'm gonna put a little number 20 in here. MM20. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have some fun with Inktober.